Hey guys, it's Nibzscape here and welcome to my full in-depth Vorkath guide. So, why should you listen to me? Well, on this count alone I have over 1,300 kills, plus I killed it a lot during the Trailblazer period, and I've learnt a lot of stuff along the way. I've killed it in various setups from 100k all the way to max. And yeah, I thought maybe I could help a couple of you guys out. A few people have been asking me for this, so I thought I'd make a video rather than go to people individually, and then everyone can hopefully benefit from it. But first things first, we're going to jump straight into the requirements. So for the requirements, there's actually a fair few requirements, the big one being obviously the quest completion of Dragon Slayer 2, which is a Grandmaster quest, very difficult, there's a lot of hard bosses to kill. You also need quite a few high level skills which are on the screen now, and a lot of quests which are obviously rolling down the screen as well. It is a very difficult quest, I'm not going to lie. There's some very difficult bosses, and you're going to want some fairly decent combat stats to go with these quests. However, it's definitely worth doing because the money from Vorkath, the money from Rune Dragons is absolutely insane. So 100% worth doing this, but obviously quite high requirements. So for the recommended stats, I'm going to highly recommend a high range. Around about 75 plus should be enough to kill Vorkath. However, if you've got any higher, it's going to make it a lot easier. I'm only going to be looking at range this guide because I believe it's a lot easier than melee. And yeah, I just highly recommend going down the range route. The only other thing I would highly recommend is getting yourself a Salve Amulet EI. To get this, you need to complete a quest called the Haunted Mine, and then a little mini quest called the Lair of Tarn Razorlaw. Once you do this, you get some Nightmare Zone points together and you can imbue it, and then you've got yourself one of the best items against Vorkath. It's going to increase your DPS massively, and I'd say it's pretty much a must if you want to get consistent Vorkath kills. So to get to the actual island Vorkath is located on, you actually need to dock one of the ships in Relica. So highlighted on the screen now is the dock you need to go to. And there's multiple ways of getting there, which I'm going to go over now. So the first way to get there is actually changing your house to Relica. From the Relica house portal, obviously you can teleport to home, and then you just run north all the way to the port. Another way you can get there, and personally my favourite, is using your house teleport, and then within your house you're going to want a portal chamber with a Lunar Isle teleport. Obviously it's always good to have an ornate pool and stuff so you can restore your stats. You then can go through your Lunar Isle teleport, you end up here, you can then actually bank using the far right bank booth, and then once you're done banking you can click on the left booth, go all the way through the chat, and you're going to end up where I'm going now. I actually have the Elite Diary done so I can't quite show you it, but basically you just end up teleporting to this point here, and then you just got to run a little bit northeast, and then you're at the dock ready to board the boat. If, like me, you have the Elite Diary completed, you actually get Fremenic Sea Boots. You can right-click and teleport with these, and you will teleport here, right next to the dock, ready to go. So that's definitely by far the fastest teleport available. So for the gear, obviously we're going to be using range, so we're only going to be looking at the range setups. And throughout all of the setups, you're going to be using Elite Void if you've got it. If not, normal Void is fine. And also, you're going to be using the Salve Amulet, as mentioned before. It gives a massive bonus to damage. Along with that, you're also going to be wanting to use your very best Alva's device, obviously to collect your bolts, and also give you a slight range attack bonus. The only things that will be slightly different, obviously, will be the weapons. You could start off with a rune crossbow, dragon crossbow. If you're going to be using the blowpipe, you're definitely going to want to use the Bandos Godsword with it. Obviously, with the nerf of the blowpipe as well in accuracy, you're definitely going to want to reduce Vorkath's defense. And then obviously the best in slot weapon is the Dragon Hunter crossbow, and you will absolutely tear through Vorkath with this. The only other items as well you might be wanting to change is obviously the boot slot. You can obviously start off with snakeskin boots, upgrade to Blessed D hides, and then if you've got the money you can obviously upgrade to Pegasian boots. The only other couple items you might want to think about if you have the money, an Archer's Ring imbued will help you here massively, and a Dragonfire Ward. However, I wouldn't worry too much about that because a normal anti-Dragonfire shield will do absolutely fine here. So for the inventory, obviously we've got our Slayer Staff. This is going to be used for auto-casting Crumble and Dead. We then have an ammo switch. If you're going to be using the blowpipe, you're probably going to want a couple melee items so you can get a decent hit with the Bandos Godsword. We then have the supplies that usually sees me around about a 4 to 6 kill trip in max gear. Obviously we have the anti-venom plus. We have a 3 dose of that. That usually sees me pretty well. We then have a 2 dose of the super extended anti-fire. This obviously negates pretty much all fire damage. Unless you've got the blowpipe, you will see a little bit of damage, but it does negate the majority of it. We then have a 2 dose divine ranging potion, 3 full 4 dose prayer potions. Then we have pretty much a full inventory of manta rays as our food. And then obviously the rune pouch. In the rune pouch we are actually using lore runes, dust runes and chaos runes. And obviously that's for teleports and crumble undead. So when it actually comes to prayers and what you're going to be praying against Vorkath with, it depends on what gear you are using. So if you are using any of the crossbows and a Dragonfire shield / one of the Dragonfire wards, you will want to pray against range. This actually negates all the range damage, and because of the anti-fire plus the anti-fire protection from the shield, you won't be taking any fire damage. If you are using the blowpipe and the Bandos Godsword, because you haven't got that shield, you're going to want to protect from mage. This is going to negate most of the fire damage, but not all of it. You will take the odd hit, but you should still be good. But yeah, definitely going to want to pray mage. When it comes to melee, obviously I'm not going over melee too much in this guide. You'll also be using protect from mage with that setup. But as I said, we won't really go into melee too much. We're going to mainly focus on the range for this guide. So for the boss fight, we're actually going to break this down into 3 separate parts. We're going to have a look at his standard attacks, his acid phase and how to deal with that, and then also his freeze phase and then how to deal with that. So during the standard attack phase of Vorkath, he hits you with 6 standard attacks and then goes on to one of his special phases. Within these 6 attacks, there's a few different attacks he can do. So there is the normal fire attack, which looks and sounds like this. Most of this damage is negated through your anti-fire potions and shield or magic if you're using the blowpipe. Another one of his attacks is the magic attack, and this sounds and looks like this. If you're using the crossbows, this is the only attack that will actually damage you. Obviously, if you're using the blowpipe or melee, you'll be protecting from mage, so it won't damage you. Another attack he will attack you with is the range attack. This looks and sounds like this. If you're using the crossbows with this one, you'll be protected because we're praying range. Obviously, if you're using the blowpipe, you will take damage from this one. Another one of his attacks is the prayer removing attack. This looks and sounds like this. All you do with this one is as soon as it hits you, you return on your prayers and you're good to go. Another attack he can hit you with is the venom attack. This looks and sounds like this. All you have to do to deal with this one is either click your health orb in the top right corner. This will automatically cure you, or you can just click the anti-venom plus yourself, and then once again this will cure you. The final attack he can attack you with is the fireball, and this is the one you're going to want to keep your eye out for the most. If you get hit with this, it's an instant KO. You are out for the count. So basically it looks and sounds like this. All you have to do to deal with this is move 2 tiles and you are safe. The boss can actually hit you with melee as well if you are within melee range, but as this is pretty much a range only guide, I won't really be going over that too much. So next we're going to go over Vorkath's acid phase. Vorkath shoots up into the sky loads of acid pools which land on the ground. You want to avoid these because if you stand on them they will heal him. And then every single tick Vorkath fires fireballs at you. Basically, if these hit you, they stack up very fast and pretty much instant knock you out. The way to avoid this is to keep moving on every tick. The best way to do this is to have your run off. And I advise having the run off the whole Vorkath fight. It's easy enough to get away from the fireballs in that standard section. And you just want to keep moving. The only thing that can catch people out is actually how your character moves. It sounds a little bit confusing, but your character is actually a couple tiles ahead. So it might look like he's moving, but he's actually already stopped on the tile you've clicked on. I will give you an example now. So to show this, I've actually got my tile marker indicator on. So when I actually hit the tile, and when I'm stood on the tile, the indicator disappears. And as you can see, so as I walk towards it, it looks like I'm still walking. However, I've actually arrived at this point here. So basically the best way to counteract this problem is to keep moving and move before you reach your square. If you keep on clicking back and forth like I'm showing now, you are going to avoid any issues. So the big 2 points to keep an eye on is obviously keep moving, make sure your run is off and don't ever get close to that tile you clicked on. The next and final phase you have to worry about is the freeze phase. In this phase, Vorkath shoots you with a white looking fire damage attack which looks and sounds like this. Once hit with this attack, you become frozen and unable to move and attack Vorkath. A minion then comes towards you. Kill this minion by casting Crumble Undead, which will instantly kill it. A thing to point out is if it does get to you, it will hit you very hard and can easily kill you. So you're going to want to make sure you kill this properly. The moment after you get frozen, a good tip if you're using a slower weapon other than the blowpipe is to click the ground first. Otherwise you could end up attacking Vorkath as you want to try and cast Crumble Undead, and then you will be unable to and the minion will catch up to you and get you. Another good tip to use is to actually bring along a Slayer Staff. If you equip the Slayer Staff, you can actually auto-cast Crumble Undead, and it also keeps the auto-cast ready. So all you have to do is equip the Slayer Staff, click the minion, and then you can unequip it and put your main weapon on, and then get back to killing Vorkath. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run through a full Vorkath kill and explain kind of what I'm doing. And then after that, I'll go over some pro tips to improve maybe your kills per hour, or maybe just speed up your Vorkath kills in general. So I am going to go through a full Vorkath kill now. We're going to have a little look at the setup I'm using. So I'm actually using a rune crossbow. So it's going to be a rather lengthy kill, but it should give us a good idea of like the method and the techniques throughout the whole fight. We have got some decent stuff like Pegasian Boots, Archer's Ring, which will speed it up a little bit. Obviously, we've got Ruby Bolts, which we'll be starting with, and then we've got the Diamond Bolts for the switch later on. And yeah, I've already got one kill in, but I messed up the recording, so we're doing it again. Before we go in for the Vorkath kill, we want to make sure our quick prayers are set up right. So you're going to want your best range attack, whether it be Rigor or Eagle Eye. And then obviously, because we've got the crossbow, we want the Protect from Missiles. If you were the blowpipe, you want Protect from Magic. So our quick prayers are set. Before we go in, we also want to make sure our run is off, which it is. And then we're going to sit our extended anti-fire potion, give Vorkath a poke, and then sit our Divine Ranger potion. We then turn our prayers on and then attack Vorkath. Obviously, that is a venom attack. I'm actually still protected at the moment. If I wasn't protected, I'd just have to click my health orb, and then obviously that would cure it. Turn our prayers on with that one. Fireball, you're going to want to move 2 squares away. Alright, so this is the first phase, the ice phase. We're going to put on our Slayer Staff, and then we're going to click on the Mummified Spawn, or the Zombified Spawn. Then make sure our prayers are still on, and then attack Vorkath again. Here we are. Now we've been venomed, so all I have to do is press this health orb, and then it brings me back to being cured. Move from the fireball. Another fireball, keep moving. Alright, so acid phase. Obviously, the best way to deal with this is just to keep moving. Never reach your square. Obviously, you get to your square a lot sooner, so just keep moving. Don't stop. Obviously, there's advanced techniques to like Wook's Walk and stuff like that, but to get your very first kill, you don't have to worry about that. What you can do in those sort of areas, in the phases, is use it to your advantage. That's a good time to heal up or use any of your prayer potions. You don't really want to be healing during this time when you can actually attack Vorkath, like I'm probably going to have to do now. Obviously it reduces all your DPS, so you want to keep the DPS as high as possible. Zombie spawn, so we're going to heal up. We're going to attack the zombie, switch back to our normal gear, and then attack Vorkath. making sure to keep an eye on your prayers and stuff as well. Keep sipping the prayer potions. And yeah, that's pretty much it, to be honest. Obviously, the only sort of standard attack is the magic attack. That's the only one that can really hurt us. Obviously, we're praying from range, so that doesn't matter. The fire damage ones we're protecting from. Another acid phase. Same again, we're going to just keep on moving. A little advanced technique, which I'm going to go on about in a minute, is to save supplies. You can always turn your prayers off here and heal up and stuff. It's just going to lengthen your trips and stuff. Prayers back on, back to Vorkath. And yeah, that's pretty much it now. So now we're sort of getting to the end of the Vorkath kill. We're going to switch our bolts to the Diamond E. And then it's just a case of doing it all the way till the end, till he's dead. And I'm probably going to speed it up a bit, because this probably might take a little while. And there we go, there is our Vorkath kill, and Rune Longsword UC, not too bad at drops. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is my pro tips. This isn't for beginners, this is more when you get a lot better at Vorkath, you've learned the mechanics, and you want to start improving, farming Vorkath and getting very efficient kills and maximising your profit. So for my first tip is, when it comes to the special phases, the acid and the freeze phase, is to actually turn off your prayers. As you can see in this little clip here, as soon as I'm about to get hit by the special phase, I actually turn my prayers off, and this basically saves a lot of prayer throughout the whole Vorkath fight, and overall it's going to save you a lot of money on prayer potions. This is really about maximising your profits. Another tip, and this is a more advanced one, and you're only going to want to be looking at this when you get a lot better and a lot more comfortable with the Vorkath mechanics, and that is the Wux Walk. Now basically, during the acid phase, you want to carry on attacking Vorkath. It's much easier with a blowpipe, and I'm going to show you how I do this now. So to perform the Wux Walk, you wait for the acid phase. As soon as the acid phase begins, you want to get to a nice safe spot where there's no acid pools in your path. Attack Vorkath, step back, attack Vorkath, step back. You want to do this every tick. Basically, you can hear the game sounds. Every tick is a fireball, so just click on the fireballs basically. And it is advanced, it's definitely an advanced tip, but it will help you speed up your Vorkath kills massively, and is 100% worth it when you want to look at max efficiency and getting the most profit per hour. But as I said, it is a very advanced technique and will take a long time to learn, and you will get some deaths along the way, but it will definitely help you long term. So that pretty much wraps up my pretty in-depth Vorkath guide. If it helps you out, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It helps my channel out massively. And as always, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.